Okay, we'll record it as well and wonder where we're going to use it. So welcome officially to today's call about the tools of access in particularly the foundation class, which is an amazing class, really. And what do we do in the foundation class? It's very interesting. So here's what happened today. I cleaned my washing machine. And you're going to ask me what that has to do with what we're going to talk about. So the tools of foundation basically are a couple of things. I'm going to draw some similes so kind of get what we're talking about. Basically, what I've understood now is this communication system, this language that we begin to use to communicate with the universe, with all the amazing energies around us that are desiring to contribute to us. Because, hey, first things first, do you really trust that the universe desires to give to you, that the universe always has your back, that the universe supports you in everything you do, that the universe has one ask of you, and that is to make a choice and to commit to the choice and to never give up and to trust that it does have your back. Oh, that makes it four. Kind of the same thing, that the universe always has your back. And you might have seen it yourself when you do go ahead in certain situations when probably you've had difficult moments in your life, sometime when you thought nothing was going to change and you went ahead and did something which was different, which was courageous, which was about trusting your gut, your intuition, and you went ahead and did it. And then did you see how things just started falling in place? Ever happened to you? Yeah, it's happened to me quite a few times when I was actually kind of forced and thrown into, like a game of football or polo, and you don't know anything. You're just sitting there as a spectator, and suddenly they say, oh, you know what? A guy's injured and you're the next player. So jump in. And they just push you in. It happened to me when I went gliding once, literally. I didn't want to go gliding. And this instructor literally just strapped on. And while I was scared, while I was like, don't do this to me. I don't want to do it. I don't want to jump. And he was just busy strapping on the equipment. And literally, because I was jumping with the instructor, we were doing it together. I don't know if I would have been able to do it alone. Literally, and it's like, let's go, and jump. And we jumped off the cliff. And I'm glad I did it. Right. So it's like that when sometimes you're forced into a situation because of the circumstances and you just have no other choice than to just go for it. Like, you're off the cliff now. What? No, nothing. Just be. Right? Just fly. Just enjoy the flight and do whatever it is that shows up for you in the moment. But most of the times we are scared of making these choices. I'm talking about these times when something forces us, something pushes us. And a lot of times we just keep waiting for the little nudge, the little push, that thing that's going to throw us off the cliff so that we can fly. What if you didn't have to wait for that? And that is what I'm talking about, that you have to make a choice. You have to make that choice to jump. You have to make that choice to glide. You have to make that choice to, that uncomfortable choice to just move forward and do it anyway. Right? So I have someone join in here on Zoom, and you guys can actually join me on Zoom if you like. I've shared the Zoom link as well. Right? So what if you could make a choice by choice? Interesting, right? Make the choice out of your own choice, not with someone forcing you, not with someone nudging you. But a lot of times in life, we are just, hey, Priyanka, nice to have you here. So we're talking about a choice, and we're talking about how most of the times in life, we just keep waiting for someone or something to come, give us that nudge, give us that push so that we can make a choice. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if it was about the ease and the joy and the excitement and adventure of choosing something new. Because why are you living anywhere? Why are you living? What is the purpose of your life if it is not to enjoy yourself, if it is not to have fun? And hey, welcome guys on Zoom. I'm so glad that you are here. We just started talking about choice, and I was talking about this one time when, I went for gliding, and I was literally thrown off by the instructor. Like, here I was getting scared and I didn't want to do it, you know. But he just kept strapping on the gear, not listening to me because I was on the cliff anyway. So come on, let's go. And literally, he just went, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And we jumped off the cliff. So this is what I was talking about, that this is something that sometimes life forces us in situations and makes us make these uncomfortable choices, where we realize that we have this potential to do it, where we realize that I wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Oh, this is fun. And I wasn't choosing it. But why is it, or what is it that stops us from making these choices that will create our life? Every area of our lives, every area of our lives, we kind of just wait. I'll do it when the time is right. I'll do it when I have the money. I'll do it when someone motivates me enough. I'll do it when someone proves to me it's worth it. Until then, we keep sitting in our comfort zone. And then after a while, life just gets monotonous, boring. And you're like, what am I doing here anyway? How many of you have had that? So I also started all this conversation with, what did I do today? I cleaned my washing machine. And what does that have to do with this conversation? So I'll tell you now. Interestingly, I love to do laundry. I don't know how many of you love to do laundry. I hate it when everybody piles on their laundry on me, but otherwise I love to clean, love to do the laundry. And I love my washing machine. It's one of the precious things that I have in my house. So today I was just about to put the load in the machine when I saw that there's this little space, the little slot where you put the soap, the liquid soap, and there's another slot next to it where you put the conditioner, like the fabric conditioner. And I saw that little thingy had gotten so dirty that I didn't know I could move it. I thought it was fixed. So, I was trying to clean it while it was fixed. And I took out like a brush. I was trying to clean the little mold and how the soap collects. And it was like dirty, right? And then I thought, oh my God, all this is going to get into, because I'd already put the clothes and going to go into my clothes. So I fiddled with it and it came out. I was like, oh my God, this comes out. I can clean this. Wow. And I've had this machine for over a year. I didn't know that this thing could come out and I could clean it, right? And when I took it out, and it was like really dirty from inside, from outside, in the little nooks and crannies. And you're going to ask me why I'm telling you this. Because that's what we do with our lives. We forget that things are changeable. We kind of keep collecting the yuck and the muck. We kind of just let it be there for a while, thinking I'll do it someday, or I'm going to ignore it, or we don't even see it. We don't see that there are things in our lives that can be changed. And when I was done cleaning it, it was spick and span. It was shining. It was amazing. It was ready to, do the laundry again. But what do we do with our lives when you start feeling tired, when you start feeling exhausted, when you're not happy? How many of you are happy when you get out of bed in the morning, looking forward to the day? I know I'm happy when I'm traveling. For a while, I'm happy at home, but then I want to travel. I want to go places. I want to do things. But then, I tell myself, oh no, the house needs me. My dog needs me. My children need me. My husband needs me. And I should be at home. But then after a while, I start getting, do I really have to stick around? What am I doing anyway? And I actually have seen myself push the joy out of my life because I have this list of things I have to do, this list of responsibilities, the way I should be living my life as a good mother, a good wife, a good daughter-in-law, a good homemaker. Oh, of course, I want to be a good business person too. So then, what is it that is not allowing me to enjoy my life? All these things, all of the responsibilities, all the things that I tell myself that, oh, I'm going to do it another day. Oh, I'll just put it aside. It's like not cleaning your washing machine, not cleaning those little nooks and crevices that start collecting the dust, that start getting, rusty, how your drawers get rusty after a while if you don't clean them, maintain them. So how many of you are actually living a rusty life? How many of you are living a moldy life? How many of you are not willing to see that you have all of these amazing capacities with things that you're not willing to see because you have these list of things to do? And in the process, the most important things of your life, which are the ease, the joy, the glory, the fun, the adventure, for which you probably came on planet Earth, just kind of get sidelined, like that little drawer in my washing machine that wasn't cleaned, that I didn't even know could be pulled out to be cleaned. So I just want to let you know that there are these amazing tools that I wouldn't have even been able to see this if I wasn't using the tools. Life could have just gone on. My washing machine could have continued to be dirty. My life can continue to be moldy. My life can continue to be boring. Things that are not working for me can continue like that if I keep shoving them under the carpet. But well, what would I like to choose? What would you like to choose? So there are all of these amazing tools in Access, and I began to learn them in the foundation. My first foundation I did in 2014. And I was amazed at the intricacies of how many things you can apply. How many of these tools can you apply to how many things in your life? Like I was like, oh, there's a tool about this. Oh, there's a tool about that. Oh, this. Oh, I can do that too. I didn't know I could do this too. And the beauty was although it was new, but it just seemed so familiar. Like, hey, you know what? I knew that something was possible with my relationship. Something was possible with money. Something was possible with my body. Something was possible in me being able to be a homemaker and a businesswoman. So nobody ever told me that, because all that I was told was what I wasn't great at. And who kept telling me that? Mostly me, because that's what I'd heard from everyone. तुम ये अच्छा नहीं करते हो, ये बेटर करते तो कैसा होता, वो ठीक नहीं है लेकिन तुम्हारे बारे में वो अच्छा है, बट इट वाज ऑलवेज क्या ठीक नहीं है तुम्हारे बारे में, क्या तुम नहीं कर सकती, पहले बच्चों को बड़ा कर लो, उसके बाद देखना, काम पे क्यों जाना है, रिश्ते बना के रखो, कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर लो, थोड़ा एडजस्ट कर लो, तुम ठीक से बोलते नहीं हो, यू कैन टॉक वेरी वेल इन इंग्लिश बट इट्स ओके, यू कैन मैनेज. आई हैव हर्ड ऑल ऑफ दिस थिंग्स, and these are just a few of them. So how many of you have been living your life from the space of the judgments that have been thrown on you and not willing to see that there is this whole new world beyond all of those judgments, all of those wrongnesses that you have continued to believe about you? None of them are true. Trust me. And I wouldn't say, I will honestly tell you that it doesn't change overnight, because it's a language you're learning. You're learning to communicate with the universe. And what I also started learning was that I would make a choice, and then the universe would support me with 10 other things. I would make another uncomfortable choice, and then the universe would support me with, more things. But I had to, and it's giving me goosebumps even now when I'm saying that, I had to continue to make choices. And my life isn't perfect even now. But is it more enjoyable? Yes. Do I have more of the things that I didn't think I even wanted? Yes. Do I want some more? Of course. Is it ending soon? No. So there are always more possibilities. There are always more and more possibilities, no matter where you are in life, no matter what's going on with you. But if you're willing to learn this language of communicating with the universe, of beginning to trust yourself more, of looking at things from a different perspective, then this is a class, the foundation class, that'll give you all of that and more. Now, another question that comes up is, oh, the class is expensive. How many of you have had that point of view that it's expensive? Oh my God, how am I going to spend that much money? I've never spent that much money on myself. Is it worth it? Is now the time? Maybe I'll do it later. Yeah, sure. No worries at all. I'm not here to convince you to do this class. I'm just here to tell you what could be possible if you do. Like when we make an investment, like when you invest in a mutual fund, or when you invest in gold, or when you buy land, what is it that you look for in it? How many times do you actually look at, okay, what is the future that is going to create? The energy of that. Yeah, maybe you're looking at it in terms of how much money it's going to make you. But are you also looking at what is the future you're creating with that? And of course, there's more money going to show up too. When you learn a new course, like let's say you educate yourself, like I trained myself to be an architect. It costed me money. It costed me effort. It costed me time. It took about 15, 18 years of my life. But what did I get out of it? Oh, a whole lot. Right? Now, when you invest in something that is going to create your future, let's say 50 years from now too, like along the road, you keep creating. You might not, like when you buy gold, you go right away to sell that necklace that you bought, cost you probably 1 lakh, 10 lakhs. Do you look at it and go, tomorrow I'm going to sell it and it should make me 50 lakhs if I bought it for 10? No, you wear it, you enjoy it, you allow it to make you look pretty. But when we go and invest in something like in an access class, the immediate point of view sometimes could be, oh, it's too much money. And that's okay too. How can I do this? So everywhere that you have a point of view that you can't invest, and also tell me if you actually look at business, can you ever make money if you don't invest money somewhere? I have that point of view because I grew up in a family where I said, oh, professional, great college, career oriented, and a professional degree, of course. So basically, you're not investing any money, but you're going to make money because you're going to be giving people drawings, you're going to be giving people suggestions, you're going to be designing their houses, and you're basically not investing much, but they're going to give you money. So it's great to be a professional. Don't get into business. But how long did that work for me? Not much. Really, trust me. I couldn't ask people for money. I would just give them stuff for free. How many of you give people stuff for free? Like, you what? Just take it. I wouldn't value what I was giving them till I actually started learning to honor myself through these access tools, looking at, okay, this is a gift. I can do this better than other people. And yes, I can receive money for it. But did that take investment? Yes, I invested in these classes too. I invested in these courses. I invested in educating myself. So what is it that does not allow you to invest in yourself, whichever way, that is actually going to create a future of possibilities, of more money coming in, of life unraveling in a way that you never thought was possible? So everywhere that you are not willing to invest in yourself, whatever it is, money, time, effort, honoring, nurturing, caring of you, that is going to create a greater future for you. Will you please destroy and uncreate it all? And that is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pop, line shorts, boys, bogarts, and beyonds. And one more thing that I wanted to actually talk about today is, it was like 2023 started and it was like a happy new year for everyone. There was these wishes, there was this stuff happening, people celebrating, pictures on Facebook and Instagram, but there was something going on in my life that I had no clue how that showed up. I had no clue what was happening. It wasn't very happy for me. I'm not going to say what it was, but it wasn't kind. It wasn't kind to me, to my children, to my family. But you know what? The tools actually kept me going. I was actually facilitating a money workbook class. There were these people who had my back in a way that I just couldn't imagine people could have. Professionally, family-wise, from people that I hadn't interacted with in the last 10 years. And so many friends, so much of family showing support that I hadn't actually seen in the last literally 10 years, literally, if not more. It was, so there was this whole space of unkindness that was going on with something that was a situation. Like I said, sometimes you're forced into a situation. You don't know how it showed up, what happened, and you literally have no control over it. But I had these tools, and because of these tools, my faith in myself, my trust in the universe, and the way I could see the support system that got generated with it was so amazing. I literally have no words. I mean, it just brings tears to my eyes to think how beautifully everything was supporting me. And it is just thanks to these tools and thanks to my trust in myself and the universe. And that's all I can actually tell you right now, unless you have a question. But my invitation to you is that please explore these tools. Please come to this class. See what it can change for you. Have this trust in yourself. If your life is not as fun as you know it could be, if there aren't as many possibilities in your life as you know there could be, then there's something that could change. There's something you could ask for that you're not willing, haven't probably been willing to ask for up until now. There is something more that's possible. And Foundation is a class that can actually open it up for you if you're willing to receive, if you're willing to commit, if you're willing to change things. So I'm going to just stop talking now. And if you guys, any of you have any questions, I do have 2 classes coming up, one in Delhi, which is a beautiful retreat foundation at a place called Zorba the Buddha, if you've heard of it. And we're starting on 3rd. We have a swapping session on 2nd, which is my gift to you if you choose to come. Please come. It's a gift swap, bars and body process swap on the 2nd. And 3rd, we start the foundation class up until the 6th of February at Zorba the Buddha. And then there's another one coming up at Hyderabad from 9th to 12th of February. And I am just immensely grateful for these tools, for everyone who's choosing to change their lives, for all of you who have actually come here today, who are listening to this today, who have the space in their world of, okay, there is something else possible. What is it? Just that curiosity. That is the beginning, right? So any questions, guys, anything you guys want to ask, anything that is in your world that you would like to, I don't know, ask a question about. If there's anything like that, I'm happy to take on your questions. I'm also, in the meantime, just going to check if there's anything on the Facebook Live. Not really. So any questions, guys? Anything? Hello, Tarini. Hi, Sarab. Hi again, Priyanka. I was just busy talking when you joined in. So yeah, so you want to do it, but you feel resistance, and that's perfectly okay. Of course, you're going to feel resistance because it's a lot of change. And when has change been comfortable? So what is it? The resistance, and is it really your resistance? Because when you begin to change, guys, the people around you sometimes are not able to catch up with that change. Sometimes they feel intimidated with the change. Sometimes they don't want you to go out and change. Do you want people to change? We kind of get comfortable within our comfort zones. We get comfortable, like I was telling you, with this gliding thing. I don't know if you joined in when I was talking about that. I didn't want to glide. Didn't want to go up the cliff, with those gliders that they strap on you. I didn't want to do it. But am I glad I did it? I mean, is it a beautiful feeling when you're gliding in the air and you're looking at everything below you and then you're slowly swooning down? It's a different experience. So, what is it that is stopping you from contributing to yourself? What is it that is stopping you from choosing greater for yourself? What is it? You got to ask yourself, what is this resistance? And there are these 2 beautiful questions in Access, which is, what am I avoiding with this? So what are you avoiding with this resistance? If this resistance was not there, you can please unmute yourself and talk, Priyanka. Go ahead.
Hi, even Sarab have put something in chat around money. Even when I choose classes, I make money so significant. Okay, this much amount money, this much I have saving, or I go in the calculations. I think I get it, like most of us goes in the calculations.
All of us do.
Yeah. So even Sarab put it up like I feel I will not have money for that. And even I was like looking into my world. Whenever there is some class shows up where I know that I'm choosing it, but then I go into that calculation of money,
Yeah.
and then like I know we get into the questions and we get into the tools, but still somewhere we get in that loop and then come out with a question. I get that, but still, what else can we do that around here, around money especially?
So that's exactly what I was saying, that the foundation has a whole section on money, so many tools around money. And, with me, I wasn't making any money when I did my foundation class. I had zero money of my own. And at that point of time, it's very interesting that my husband used to give me money because I was raising children. And although I was a professional, I couldn't get out much to work. So, he would just give me money. He was like, the money would be lying around and I could just pick it up. And when I started doing Access, the first time I went and put money in a foundation class, and I was like, and trust me, when I did my first bars class, that time it used to be 7,500 rupees, Indian rupees. That was the time when I did my first bars class in 2013. And that was the first time that I had spent 7,500 on me at one go. I'd never spend money on me, as much money on me, right? And I understand what you're saying, because then the next month the foundation class showed up and I was like, you're nuts. I'm not going to give you that much money for like 4 days. What are you talking about? Right. But then my very close friend went and did it. And I was looking at it and she told me all the amazing things that we did. We talked about this and this changed and this happened. I was like, wow, that seems interesting. And she said, you should just go for it, And because she's a friend I trust so much, and she's here, she's Renu, she did the class before me. And I was like, are you sure? I don't even know the bars yet, probably. I don't want to do it right now. But then we had this amazing facilitator coming to my city and he's coming, why don't you just talk to him? Why don't you just meet him? I was like, okay, I'll do it, So I went ahead and I took it. Of course, I had the money lying around, like I told you, it's there. So I just took it and I went and paid the money. Like I said, and it was like, wow, there was so many different things that showed up, literally magical things, because I had never played with energy, but I'd always been interested in all of these amazing magical stories, Harry Potter, and I would see all of these horror movies. So, and magical movies, stuff that was happening. So I was like, wow, I knew this was possible somewhere. And I could actually see the change, there were two other girls with me in class and I could see what was changing for them. And I was like, wow, so that started happening. But then to come to your question, Priyanka, Naima, just give me a moment. I'll take a question. And I went, and then I wanted to do COP, right? Gary was coming and I wanted to do COP. And then my husband looked at me and was like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to give you the money. No. So you want to do this? Go create your own money. So anyways, I had saved some and I was very reluctant. I was like, oh, this is double what I paid for foundation. And then I called up my facilitator who I did my foundation with. And I said, is it worth it? Do you think I should go for it? And he's like, you're nuts. It's Gary. He's coming to India. And I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And that was it. But what happened after that, because the source of revenue stream that I had open just got shut. So then I said, okay, fine, you're right. If I want to create it as a business, then I will create the money. And if I don't create the money, I'm not going to do the classes anymore. It's fine. But let me do this just this once. And what happened after that, it took me a whole year. But I have never created as much money as I now create, even when I went to professional college, because like I just told you, I couldn't ask people for money. I had no education about money. I had no idea how taxes are paid. I didn't have a credit card. And you had to pay, you need a credit card to pay for all the access conscious. So what did I create in the process? I wouldn't have been here today if I didn't create the money. So I am proof in front of you that if you commit to it, you start using the tools. And what did I do? I used the tools, literally. And honestly, for the next CF class, I had this 50,000 short. So I told my husband, I said, listen, this is the first time I'm sharing the story. I told him, I said, listen, I committed to you that if I can't create the money for this class, I'm not going to go and do it again. I had done one CF class and then the next one. So I was like, I'm 50,000 short, but I know it's on the way. It's coming. You give me another month and I'm going to do it. But because I committed to you and the class is next month, you tell me that, no, don't do it. I'm not going to do it because that's my word to you. And that just changed the whole thing. It's like, yeah, no, I get it. It's okay. But I'm not saying that your life gets perfect after that. It gets better and it gets better and it gets better. Things are thrown at you and you have the tools to handle them. You have more money than before. You have more education than before. You have more trust in yourself. Does that answer your question, Priyanka? So it is, this resistance will go when you keep taking the steps. If you just keep sitting there and say, oh, this resistance is going to go away one day, and then I'm going to do it. Well, then it's going to take its own sweet time to go away. Question is, when do you want it to go away? Because who's the source? Who's the creator? Who's the change agent? So question is, what can I do to change this right away?
When in fact you were talking about, I was like, all the main, like there are a hell lot of topics in foundation.
Yeah.
I've done foundation 4 times.
Wow.
And manipulation and intimacy and money, all the topics are popping up.
It. And you know how deep we go with money in that, how you actually start to look at how to change it. And
the body processes from the numbers, like it's like
a treasure trove, right?
Yeah, true that.
Yeah, it's a treasure trove. And now how you're going to use it?
Yes.
You know, if you just do the class, forget about it, don't use the tools, well, then you just throw your money away. But if you use the money to invest in something that's going to create a greater future, like I was saying, you begin this journey of beginning to create your life, including the money, including the relationships, including like I was just sharing with you, whatever happened in the beginning of the year. I've been working on my relationships, my family for like the last, I don't know, since I was a kid. But the way people had my back this time, and I could see it, was something that showed up this year. It didn't show up last year. It didn't show up the year before that. So when things change is something that nobody can promise you. What's going to change? When's going to change? Question is, what are you willing to change? And when are you going to do it? Yeah. So thank you.
Is now the time?
Sorry?
Thank you. What are the timings for the class? What are the timings for your class at Zorba?
So we will start around 9:30 and it goes on till 5:30. Sometimes if it goes longer, sometimes we need to kind of see what the energy is. Sometimes we wind up sooner. Mostly it's like 9:30 to 5:30 from 2nd to 6th. We will play with the energy and see where it goes depending on the people that are asking the questions.
2nd is the half day for the swap, right?
2nd is 3rd to 6th is the swap. You're warmly invited. Please do come. And I'd love to have you for the class as well. What could that change? Yes, Mayama, sorry to keep you waiting for so long. Tell me, what is your question?
No, not at all. Number one, I'm really sorry I got late.
No problem.
Mom life. So I don't know if this has been asked or not. And in fact, I related so much to what you said about when you started, you weren't earning. I haven't earned in the last 12, 13 years. And since well before I became a mama. But yeah, what I was asking is that I hadn't done a BAL session even. And I jumped straight into a BAL class on the 26th, Republic Day.
Yeah. How was it?
So yeah, it was interesting, but I wouldn't say it was like, I'm not sure. Like it's too soon to even say what all might have changed. And when the facilitator did 1 or 2 bars, it felt really nice, but there were just 2 students, me and 1 more girl. But I don't know if it was something in my own mind or a mental block, but when the students did it, it was different. It was not so up there. Like they say, you know, at the worst, you'll feel like you had a great massage. I didn't get that feeling. Only when Sumit was doing it for me, that time it felt really nice. So that was just 1 or 2 bars and just once. And then we went back to us doing it to each other, the 2 students. My question was that, how do you know when? Like, for example, I feel like there's just so much new that it's not settled in. Like, it feels like right now, if I would pour something into my cup, it would be pouring into an overflowing already. You know, like nothing is going to go in, it's all going to pour out. how do you know when you're ready?
Well, did you hear my glider story?
I'm sorry, I came in late.
So I was just telling these people that we'd gone to this place called Beer Billing. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a beautiful place if you want to glide. And I'm sorry, guys, for those of you who heard it twice. It's like I didn't want to go, but my husband and my children had gone for a holiday, and they were like, "Nahin, gliding to karni hai, gliding to." I was like, I don't want to do it, you know. And you have to take a little jeep to first keep going, climb. And for the first time in years, I felt this fear. You know, I'm not a person that's scared easily, honestly. Trust me, nothing can scare me very easily. But I was like, oh my God, I haven't been this scared, and I don't want to do it. But when I went up, you know, this guy just said about stopping. And I'm like, I'm telling you, mujhe nahi karna hai. But he's just stopping, madam. And he's like, madam. And boom, you know, because he's behind me. And I'm like, oh, jump. So that's what I was saying. You know, either you wait for someone to come and I was awesome. You know, if he hadn't pushed me or if I hadn't gone up, I wouldn't have done it. And how many things are you actually pushing away when you're going to be ready one day? So it's okay if you're not ready for it now, but well, if this is going to change your life entirely, I want to choose it, even if it makes you uncomfortable. And by the way, guys, resistance and uncomfortable is one of the things that you're going to sense, because you guys are psychic, believe it or not, if you're here and if you've done a bars class. What you don't realize is, could you be aware of what this class can create for you if you chose it? Because you did consider choosing it, yes or no? You're still considering choosing it, right? Now, when you consider choosing something, is it possible that you sense the energy of what that is going to create in your world? And you go, no, this is too much change, too fast, too quick, too much magic. No, not for me. I'm okay being normal. I'm okay living my comfortable life. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I was comfortable not gliding. You know, that's why I'm giving you that example. So you got to ask, okay, is it? And sometimes, have you ever been on stage? Like, have you ever gone on stage and performed anything, said something, just stood like a tree or something?
A while ago, yes. A long while ago, but yes.
Does it give you butterflies in your stomach? Does it give you that resistance? But then you can do it anyway, don't you?
Yes.
And then what does it create for you? Something greater than before you went on stage. So does that answer your question?
Yes, and I have another one.
Yeah, sure. And I just want to tell you one more thing. In a foundation class, what we do is, because there's so much change happening, even with the verbal processing, with your questions, we encourage the participants, participants are encouraged to exchange bars as often as they can. So that helps
during or afterwards?
During the class also, yes, because there's so much change happening that the bars ease the change. They create more receiving. So you also get to practice what you've learned. You get to receive from the different people in the class. So that is also part of the foundation class. The swapping of bars is something that is encouraged at least once every day.
Okay. Yeah. So my other question, if I may go on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, my other question was that when you look at, say, the Access Consciousness stage, it's sometimes a little dizzying, specifically financially, in fact, that, okay, now you spend 76,000 or whatever the amount is, 78, I don't know what, on, it's like there's just no end of classes and they're all like, you know, nearing a lakh easily and some more. Like, where does it end? Like, where do you feel like, okay, I've figured this Access Consciousness out and I can apply it in my life now? Like,
well, you can stop at a bars class. You can choose not to do any class. Or you can ask a question about, okay, which one is going to contribute to me? Which one is going to create a greater future? And there is no rush to jump into anything. There is no force. There's nobody telling you कि अगर ये नहीं करोगे तो कुछ बहुत गड़बड़ हो जाएगी. ऐसा तो कुछ होगा नहीं.
Okay, so in another way, hello.
Hello. So I have done foundation 10 times.
Yes, I know.
And I've done it about 3 or 4 times with Shweta. And I love the question you asked. And I was just looking at the question for myself, that when do you know you're ready, or when do you know that you can apply all that you've learned in your life. I don't think you ever know that.
Yeah.
Because life is going to keep moving. There are going to be new things coming up. But yes, one thing I can tell you for sure is that it equips you to deal with whatever is going to come into your life. And whether you do it to become a practitioner or a a certified facilitator or a bars facilitator, that was never my aim when I did it. My aim was to how to make my life better. How can I? And it's just made my life so much better, so much better. And if you've used the tool once in your life, you don't even know, how or when or where it's going to create even something greater and larger. So like Shweta said, that if you do the class and you say, okay, now nothing is happening in my life, that's not going to work. You got to use the tools. And the more you use them, the more you hone them, the more it enhances your life. That's my personal story. And I am very grateful for Access and very grateful for Shweta.
So what all have
I've done it with her. I have done COP, I've done talk to entities, I've done a lot of classes, but I did not choose to become a facilitator, a CF, because I have a different, I do something else as well, and that takes a lot of my time. But my aim was basically to do it for myself, and how is it going to help the children I work with and the parents I work with. And it has created amazing stuff for me.
Yeah, well, she uses
my life,
children.
My life, my relationship.
Told with children, isn't it amazing?
Yeah. And with your own children, I think my relationship with both my kids has become so much better. So much better.
So yeah, thank you for that, Renu. And again,
I wish I was in Delhi too. I just got back last night. I wish I could be there.
What else is possible? Absolutely. So it's so love to have you there. And again, Mahima, it's not, it's like, when you begin a journey and you look at, mujhe kitna kuch karna hai, then it just kind of stops you from taking the first step into something that could contribute to you. Rather than that, I would suggest look at what is going to create the next step for you. Where would you like to go? And what if this is just one of the steps and you don't have to think about how many, when, where does it end? Because when you have a point of view, where does it end? Your point of view creates your reality. What do you say? Okay, the question is not where would it end? The question is what is going to create greater? And universe, show me how to get there. Give me the space and the money and the time to be able to do this with ease. Because what if this could be one of the most caring, nurturing things that you could ever do for yourself? Learning to live the life that you have dreamed of. That is possible. Learning a new language, learning to interact with energies that most people don't even know exist. What would that be like? And how would you apply it to your life? Like Renu is doing it at the center with her children, with the parents. She does it with her own children. She's done it at the, like when she was creating a house, she built a new house a couple of years ago, and how everything fell in place so beautifully in spite of all the obstacles. And I was part of that journey too. So how you choose to use the tools, which area, and like I said, it's like a manual full of tools for practically every area of your life. You'd name it and it's there. So I would so love to have you in class.
It's not going to sort out your life for you. It's not going to, everything is not just going to, get better like a magic wand. But yeah, it could also, that's also your reality. Like for me, it's actually worked like a magic wand.
And why not?
Why not?
You have to apply it, right?
Yeah, you have to apply it.
You have to apply it and you have to be willing to receive, because access is so much about receiving.
It's opened my receiving so much.
So can you at least feel like you have about 50% of the knowledge after you do the foundation so that you can start applying it?
Why not 1,000?
Every class is
Why
so
50?
different.
Why 50?
That's what I meant, that okay, if I do the foundation, then there's so many more next steps, but at least am I in a good place to start applying a decent amount of knowledge?
It's like a box. It's like a box, and every time you open it, there's going to be something new. And every time you use the tool, the next time it could show up something totally different that it did not show up the first time. So I've done the class 10 times, and each class has been so different and has
Wow.
sometimes it's like, like you get it when you get it. I mean, after 5 classes, the 6th class, something I had learned, I just realized that, because see, I got to be also open to receiving what it's giving me. If I'm going to go in with, already predefined and decided and concluded ideas, then I'm not going to receive much. So that also I learned after 2-3 classes,
So beautiful. But what if it was about this? What if it was about your curiosity? How curious are you? And what if very curious? So if it all depends on you. Have you ever attended a course with fellow people, like other students? Anything? What you got out of that course, or let's say you went to a movie. How much you enjoy it and how much the other person enjoys it depends on how open-minded you are, how willing you are to actually learn, to see, to observe. And of course, I'm here to answer your question.
And to have fun.
And to have fun, of course. Like, how much fun can you have when you know you can...
Pathaan. Go and see Pathaan. I love that guy. You must go and see Pathaan. So yeah, how much fun do you want to have? How much do you want to make your life joyful? That also.
As much as possible, and even more.
Well then,
if you're looking for fun, it's going to come looking for you.
I want to have a blast. Always.
So this is one of the things that, I mean, I can say, the last thing I can say to invite you, literally, is this is as close to Harry Potter school as you can get.
Yeah.
So if that excites you, well, then just come. Because otherwise you'll just keep standing at the cliff like I did and say, "Mujhe nahi koodna hai, mujhe nahi koodna hai, mujhe nahi koodna hai," And you know what? Another thing that just stopped me was like, I'll probably have to drive down all the way back. So I'm glad I jumped, So it's up to you where you are. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go back that winding path, or do you want to jump off the cliff and have some fun? So literally, if you allow your mind to keep coming into the equation, guys, it's really going to tell you why you shouldn't do something. When has your mind told you why you should do something? It's never going to. Just trust your gut, Mahima. If it seems light, if it seems like a tug, don't think so much about it, because thinking is only going to give you enough reasons and justifications to say no. And if you're okay with that, that's fine too. Yeah? Does that help?
Guys, I'm sorry I got to leave.
I'm also going to go. Mahima, any other questions?
Bye. Bye, Mahima. Bye, Shweta. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Renu. I'm so grateful for you guys to being here. And thank you for your questions, Mahima. Really look forward to having you in class. Yeah. Any other questions you have, feel free to call me. I'm here to assist you with anything you like. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I'll see you somewhere soon, hopefully in Delhi or Hyderabad, or the universe knows where, right? So bye-bye. Lots of love.
Bye-bye.